Hey guys, I wanted to get on here and talk about hormone replacement therapy. I had always wanted to do this video and I hadn't decided when I was going to do it. I did some research so that I could make sure that I provide you with proper information because it is a very serious thing. Hormone replacement therapy isn't for everybody, but the people that it's for, it's a major benefit. And a lot of times there are benefits out there for women that we don't learn about because they don't always care so much about our health concerns, right? So we have to be advocates for our own health. And when I first learned about hormone replacement therapy, I think I was 59 when I first learned about it, and I wanted to be on it then. And while I love my nurse practitioner, she is my primary, she's also very old fashioned. So it wasn't always easy for me to get my prescriptions filled. And I didn't know so much about it either. And I didn't realize how much it was benefiting me until one day I looked at myself and I said, wow, you look really good, Marianne. Your hair is thick and your mind is clear and you've got all this energy. This might be working. And so I think that maybe we do need to have this discussion. I know I mentioned it in my last video when I talked about dating abroad. And someone who actually saw the video was interested in me going a little bit further into the hormone replacement therapy. One thing many women don't realize is that estrogen plays a major role in how our brains function. Estrogen supports dopamine, and dopamine affects how we focus, it affects our motivation, it affects our memory. You find yourself forgetting all the time is because your estrogen's down. It helps with paying attention. If you notice brain fog, it's because of the estrogen going down and you want to have clarity. And a woman with ADHD, even especially a woman who is diagnosed late in life, we already have a hard time regulating our dopamine. And now we got menopause. So when estrogen drops during menopause, some women experience what feels like a complete mental crash. It's like a double hit. Your hormones shift, and suddenly your brain no longer functions the same way. For me, menopause wasn't just about hot flashes. And for most people, or most women, it's not. For me, it was like I kept asking myself, like, why can't I focus? Why do I feel mentally disconnected? Why does everything suddenly feel harder? And I know many women silently experience this and assume, because I assumed I'm just aging. Like, this is aging. But hormones may actually be playing a major role. So, years ago, like I said, I had initially struggled to stay on hormone therapy. And again, it's because some people on my medical team weren't comfortable with it. And honestly, at that time, there was still so much fear and outdated information surrounding HRT, especially for women my age and older, 60 and older. So this time around at 62, I decided to educate myself. I researched newer studies, I asked questions, I discussed risk and benefits carefully with my primary, and I advocated for myself because as women, especially older women, we cannot be afraid to participate in our own healthcare decisions. Nobody lives in our bodies but us. Sometimes, I don't know, women over 60 are treated as though quality of life no longer matters. But I still want mental clarity, vitality, energy. And I've heard some older folks say, oh, I don't need all that, but I still need it. I need focus. I need to be able to get a good night's sleep. I got things to do. I have to have the ability to fully participate in my life. I plan to travel intentionally. I create content. I run businesses. I stay socially active. And I realized I didn't want to simply accept feeling mentally diminished if there were medically supervised options available to discuss. Another thing I learned is that all hormone therapy is not the same. Because I'm 62 and dementia runs in my family, safety was extremely important to me. My doctor did not put me on an older synthetic hormone pill. Instead, I use a transdermal estradiol and a micronized progesterone, which specialists call a body identifying hormone. And the estradiol patch absorbs through the skin instead of passing through the liver first. And newer research suggests that delivery methods may be gentler for some women regarding the cardiovascular and clotting risk. So again, this is not a one-size-fits-all. Every woman's health history is different, but I think that it's important that women understand the conversation around HRT and that it has evolved significantly over the years. For years, many women were told absolutely no HRT after 60, but newer menopause specialists are now saying the conversation should be individualized. Some women in their 60s may still benefit from a carefully monitored hormone therapy, depending on their health history, symptoms, the severity of symptoms that you may have, timing, depending on the formulation. Like for me, I still have ovaries, so they wanted to give me progesterone. They have to, monitor the dosage. And you want to go to your physician, you want to have supervision, they have to keep an eye on you. Some women say that the HRT did nothing for them. And some women report that it helps with brain fog. I know for me it does. Sleep. I know I've been able to get a good night's sleep since I've been on it. Moods. Some women are helped by moods. I have been really pleasant lately. And then hot flashes. Oh my God, I'm not waking up in a puddle of sweat lately. Then you got your vaginal and your urinary health. I mean, so many things are affected by menopause. Bone protection. I mean, that's pretty important, And overall quality of life, some women have experienced improvement from being on the hormone replacement therapy. And honestly, the quality of life matters because women are living decades beyond menopause now. We deserve to feel mentally present in our lives. Now, let me say this clearly. HRT is not magic. It's not risk-free, and it's not right for everyone. There are real medical considerations involving breast cancer risk, blood clots. In fact, my surgeon said that I might have to get off of it for a week before they do my knee replacement. You have cardiovascular health, risk of strokes. And this is why this should always be discussed with a qualified health provider. But what frustrates me is how many women are quietly suffering because they think they simply have to endure it. And for me personally, within 1 week of resuming treatment, I noticed my mental clarity improving, but full hormonal stabilization can take weeks, even months. So this is a process, not an overnight miracle. And for me, it just helps me get to the next level, get me back to exercising again, get me back to eating healthy again, get me back to being excited about life again. So I just want to say, for all my sisters out there who are premenopausal or full-blown menopause, or even some of you who have gotten past menopause and you feel your mind doing all kinds of things, you're not crazy. You don't want to get up and do anything. It's not because you're lazy. And you are not just getting old. Hormones affect the brain far more than many women were ever taught. And as older women, we have to learn to advocate for ourselves. Ask questions. Research. Seek second opinions if necessary. ChatGPT is very helpful. You get a lot of information because our quality of life still matters. If you've experienced changes in your focus, in your memory, motivation, mental clarity after menopause, I'd love to hear your experience in the comments. And if you find this conversation helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with other women who may need to hear this. And I will see you in the next video.